Hello, my name is Ali and welcome to my channel. We are back with Hakuoki Kyoto wins Okita's route. Let's go. You're late.
You kids are late. Who's gonna answer to my crying stomach?
You mean growling Shin? Really, he's so simple sometimes.
You guys ought to apologize to my stomach. He wanted to dig in, but I said no, we gotta wait for him.
You're such a softie, Shin. Alright guys, it's time to eat. And that means every man for himself. Our lovely CG that we saw doing Hijikata's route, so, yep.
Man, there's barely enough here to feed a kid, let alone a man. So, I'll just have to take yours. Survival of the fittest. This food is mine.
Oof, that sound makes me cringe. Hey, why do you always steal my food?
It's 'cause of the difference in size, kid. I got a bigger body. That means I need more food.
Well, I'm still growing, old man, so I gotta eat more too. Sorry you had to see this, Chizuru. They're always like this. I've, gotten used to it. How are we to deal with accepting such insanity? Oh, why aren't you taking anything? Well, I'm good if I eat too much, I slow down. I forgot to add the period, but oh well.
Hey, what do you mean slow? Whatever, I'm taking that.
Go for it. So long as I got a little sake to sip, I'm good. Sounds like I'm gonna go with sake too. Try not to worry about... I've realized their voices are the same again. I think I've already realized this before, but oh well. Gonna have to deal with it. Try not to worry about eating too much or being a freeloader or something, Chizuru. Just eat your little heart out, okay? I know. I can't help but feel a little bad, though. Well, if you let that get to you, you're gonna lose. You have to protect what's yours. Okay. Always eating alone made the experience of dinner with these men both an exhilarating and frightening evening for me. It was actually fun. See, there's that smile. You ought to do that more often. We aren't gonna hurt you. Harada. His mouth curled up into an honest smile of his own. And had I really looked so down? Perhaps they were all trying to cheer me up. I wasn't quite sure how to feel. I was conflicted over whether or not to feel pity for myself or to appreciate the moment for what it was. The joy seemed to be winning out, however, and I caught myself smiling as Inoue entered the room. And here we go.
Gentlemen, do you have a moment?
As usual, his voice was warm, but in his eyes was a level of solemnity I've never seen before, at least during the our brief encounter thus far. Acquaintance thus far. Geez, why did I say encounter? Whatever. The warmth of the room slowly evaporated.
I've just received word from Osaka. Sanan has been gravely injured in battle.
What?
What happened? A dry goods store in Osaka was invaded by a group of Ronin. Toshi and Sanan arrived in time to enter the fray and subdue the Ronin. However, Sanan was stabbed during the encounter.
Is he going to be all right?
According to the letter, he is gravely hurt, but the wound is on his left arm. It'll be hard for him to wield a blade, but he will almost certainly survive.
Oh, thank goodness. I exhaled a brief sigh of relief, but the rest of the room was tense, still itching for answers.
He should be returning here in a few days. Now please excuse me, I must speak with Kondo.
He turned as he spoke his last words, delivered over his shoulder, and was gone. It was Saito who soon broke the awkward silence. An injury so grave he cannot clutch his sword. Perhaps the wound severed an artery. To wield a blade with one arm is a disservice. He may never carry a blade again if it's true. Oh. At last I understood. Fighting with a single hand would mean less strength behind his blows. Against an opponent of a similar skill, he would almost certainly lose. If push comes to shove, we'll have to take it. I don't think Sanan's gonna... Whoopsies, let's redo. If push comes to shove, he'll have to take it. I don't think Sanon's just going to give up.
Don't jinx him, Soji. It's gonna look bad if officers start joining the Furies.
Huh? Wait. That didn't make any sense. What are the Furies?
Oh, the Furies come from something you drink where any injuries could be cured.
Heisuke! Huh? Before I could move, Harada was on his feet and halfway across the room. I barely had time to grasp before he drove his fist into Heisuke. Or gasp, not grasp, derp. Ow! Heisuke, are you alright?
Sano, you're overreacting. That was my bad, Heisuke. That was my bad, Heisuke. I slipped first.
Man, all these voices are screwing me up. You alright? Sorry. For a moment, Harada curtly nodded to Heisuke in apology, the latter offering a quick, pained smile.
Nah, I should have been watching what I said. Still, Sano, you didn't have to hit me.
His punch had enough force to knock out a lesser man, but Heisuke seemed unfazed. It was never clear, though, it was never clear how different these men were.
Chizuru, everything you just heard is something you are never to repeat. I'm sure you're curious, but we can't tell you anything else, so don't ask. And forget what you just heard from Heisuke.
His voice was friendly, but his eyes gave his words a cold weight that made me feel uncomfortable. The Furies that Heisuke spoke about are men to be pitied. Okita's voice was flat, emotionless. A sudden chill of melancholy entered his eyes. I couldn't bring myself to say anything more. Thankfully, Nagakira broke the awkward silence.
It's nothing you need to worry about yourself. You don't have to get all worked up.
I was only a guest in their house, not a warrior of the Shinsengumi. The truth of the Shinsengumi's secrets were no business of mine, something I'd known. There was a little value in that sentiment, however. Put it from your mind. Involving yourself in our affairs will only put you in greater danger. I bit my lip and kept silent. The wall between us was almost tangible, almost far too large an obstacle for me to defeat easily. I finished my dinner in sad silence, excused myself, and returned to my room. I had a great deal to think about. Furies, huh? I wondered to myself if the Furies referred to the Rakshasa? I don't know. Pictured in Buddhist texts, not temples, what the heck. Though I wasn't well versed, I recalled reading a text about a man-eating demon god with that name. I have no idea where to start, from drinking the medicine to Captain becoming a Fury. Ugh. No, I wasn't supposed to think about those things. I was only going to get myself in trouble if I stuck my nose where it didn't belong. Seeing or hearing the wrong thing could kill me. If I die, I'll have a hard time looking for my father. The Shinsengumi captains are keeping themselves hush around me, especially about the Furies. Are they doing it to protect me? Even if I dug around, I'm sure nothing good will come of it. With that in mind, I did my best to clear my head of the evening's events and slipped into my futon. Night-night. Nighty-night. Can we wake up soon? Okay. March of 1864. My nose itchy. March 1864. It fast approached a month since I became living within the Shinsengumi headquarters. Hidekata and Sanon finally returned to the compound from their trip to Osaka, but spirits were low. Sanon's injury had foreseen consequences for everyone in the organization. Day-to-day operations became hectic for a little while. His wounds seemed quite dire, and they drained whatever goodness in his nature he'd hoped to keep. Sanon would spend days holed up in his room, protected by a barrier of impenetrable silence. If he were to leave his room, a rare occasion now, he was often short-tempered and quickly retreated. Even though I, too, spent days in the exile of my room, he seemed to take it much differently. Sanan seemed trapped within a painful memory, each day bringing him closer to a gloomy twilight. I softly pondered what service I could offer to the Shinsengumi if I were not allowed to search for my father. I'm sure Hijikata is overwhelmed with whatever business he's dealing with, but I need to visit him. I realize with the tension so high that it's better to have Hijikata on my side rather not. I crept around the hall looking for Hijikata, but he was nowhere to be seen. Would it be impolite to visit his room directly? As I paced around the hall in contemplation, an unknown warrior appeared before me. Oh, it's you. I've been living in the Yagi residence for a month, but he was unfamiliar to me. My current dilemma compelled me to approach him. Excuse me, have you seen Hijikata? The man turned to respond, and my eyes widened to scan his enormous frame before he spoke. And who might you be? Mind telling me what you're doing here? Oh, I am... Well, it's a long story. Don't make me repeat myself. Answer me. I'm Chizuru Yukimura. Ah, I recall hearing the commander recruited a... I recall hearing the commander recruiting a young apprentice as his new page. Must be you. Yes. I wasn't aware they were telling people that I was an apprentice warrior at headquarters. However, my reputation was the last thing on my mind as I faced this man's pressuring gaze. I didn't appreciate the harsh scrutiny he seemed to impose, scanning me from head to toe. So why don't you start telling me about how you know the chief in commander? I hear you're from Edo, but what kind of tricks did you have up your sleeve to slide in here? I did no such thing. Ah, by judging by how defensive you became, it sounds like I'm right on target. Look, this isn't the place where someone without any worth on the battlefield or in the strategy room can waltz in without earning it. I'm going to ask you one more time, how did you get in with the chief and commander? Oh shit, hello there. I, Ken Ryusai Retry. I, Ken Ryusai Takeda, am asking you a question. What makes you think you can just ignore me? He grew increasingly agitated, almost like a petulant child because I refused to answer him. He reached his massive hand over towards me, as if to grab me, but then a voice stopped him. Aye, Takeda, what the hell are you doing here? When he recognized Hijikata's voice, he snapped his hand back to his side. Well, well, Commander Hijikata, I'm here on business with Chief Kondo. That's it. That's so. I've heard nothing about this. He called me on special orders to assist him while Colonel Sanan is out of commission. However, as it appears Chief Kondo is nowhere to be seen, so I would be on my way now. Takeda turned to take his leave, but then he slowed his step, leaving us with a few words. As a side note, Commander Hijikata, are the rumors true that you've welcomed this young blood as your page? And of course that pops up. Yes, but it is none of your concern to know more. Ah, forgive me. I'll refrain from pressing you for details, as it seems to be out of my jurisdiction. I do, however, question your predisposition toward keeping those from your birthplace close to you. It seems I forget myself. Please excuse me. That guy's creepy. Once Takeda exited the hall, I couldn't help but feel a rush of relief. Aye, Yukimura. Don't be walking around the headquarters without permission. Yes, sir. I didn't mean to cause trouble. Your presence here is not common knowledge, and only those staying at Yagi residence know. Be mindful of anyone who visits from the Meikawa residence. Is that clear? Clear. I promise to be more careful going forward. So, may I ask who that man was? That man is the captain of the 5th Division. His name is Konryosai Takeda.
I always take like a breath in between the two names because the first name was so long. It's like, did I say it right? I don't know, but I'm just gonna move forward.
His swordsmanship is decent, but he is well read and possesses a cunning mind for military science. He's a tricky one, so be careful. Okay. Furthermore, if you have no business being out, then I expect you to stay put in your room. Hijikata attempted to oh my god, I can't read. Hijikata attempted to dismiss me, having said what he felt was appropriate as a stern commander. We are going to quietly return to my room to the fact that we're not going to be with our Hijikata boy. Understood. Although I was able to finally see Hijikata, I didn't want to walk around and cause trouble. So, just as Hijikata ordered, I decided to return to my room. June of 1864. These breaks take so long. June of 1864. The 4th year of the Bunkyu era became the Ganji Ganan. Jeez, all these words. And the summer sweetly blossomed. Spring shed its blooming skin, giving birth to lush green trees facing the wide open sky. During one of these beautiful summer days, I finished cleaning after everyone ate breakfast, and Saito brought me to the hall to Hijikata. Commander, it's Saito. I brought Yukimura. Come in. Saito responded by quietly opening the sliding doors, gesturing me to enter the room. Upon entering, I saw Hijikata, but also Okita, Nagakura, Harada, and Heisuke in the hall. It appeared that only the captains who were aware of my situation were present. I know you have been waiting for some time, but the time has finally come to let you out. Really? I could barely contain the excitement in my voice as soon as the words came out of his mouth. So, is it true there was a man in Fushimi that matched my father's profile? We're not sure if it's true or not. It was our intention to let you verify for us, considering his daughter would recognize him best. I nodded in response. For now, any information pertaining to my father was appreciated, so I was thankful. So, where is this man who supposedly looked like my father? Our initial reports outline a place called Terada Inn in Fushimi. Saito is assigned to check. Saito is assigned. I wasn't sure if that meant I was to accompany Saito, or if I would have to wait longer for him. Then Harada chimed in. But that doesn't necessarily mean Kondo is a guest of this inn.
Yeah. Being sighted in Fushimi could just mean he was walking around the city of Kyoto.
Exactly. So, that's why I'm asking the 3 of you, Harada, Shinpachi, and Heisuke, to take her along on your rounds to assist her search for Kodo.
All of us? Usually we split up and go on rounds separately.
Hijikata didn't bother entertaining a response, instead looking towards me. Was he suggesting... These were the men who were responsible for dealing with me. Should I attempt to flee? Why did I make it a question? Heisuke must have sensed this all... you know what? I'm going to let you guys go here. I am having so many issues right now. But I hope you are enjoying, and I apologize for all the stuttering and the issues with words and everything today. It's been a hectic day, let's just say. So, and I just want to try to get at least a couple of videos in. It's no fun when you're about to put your toddler to sleep and turn off the light, and the glass part around the light bulb decides to fall down and crash into your son's crib. Thank goodness my son wasn't in there. But anyway, it was lovely trying to deal with a whole bunch of glass. So I hope you are enjoying, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!